Hello everybody. It's been a minute since I did this, but I'm back to film a review today. I'm not filming a review of a watch, but I will do a wrist check. Today it's my favorite watch in my collection, the Grand Seiko SBGP 009. You can see my review of this watch if you check my videos. Suffice to say, this is my absolute favorite watch and I wear it daily. So awesome watch, but today we're not here to talk about that. I just got this yesterday, and you know, I'm a watch reviewing channel. It's Watch Dan Reviews, but my dilemma is that I can't afford to keep buying watches to review them. But I do like to do reviews of things that I find cool, so I might be branching out a little bit and just kind of, you know, doing what some of these other review channels do and talking about other things that I think are awesome, like this new flashlight that I got yesterday. I own 3 other Olights, and I can do reviews of those if you guys would like me to, but this is a brand new one from Olight, and this is called the ArkPro Ultra. And these are currently listed on Amazon as pre-order. This one was about $130. But, you know, I went ahead and did the pre-order expecting maybe to wait a month or two, and it shipped within 2 days. So if you're on the fence, just order it. It should come pretty quick, probably depending on where you live. But yeah, this is a really awesome flashlight, and I've always liked flashlights. You know, I just kind of like things that move and, you know, things that are well made. Obviously, watches, cars are my first passion. And, you know, torches are awesome, pocket knives, stuff like that. I own quite a few of all of them. So this is a really awesome flashlight, guys. So this is the Olight ArkPro Ultra. It is made from Olight's proprietary aluminum called OAL. I don't know exactly what it stands for, but they claim it's about 40% stronger in tensile strength than titanium, while also being lighter and also being basically impervious to scratches. So it would be awesome to see a watch made out of this material at some point. I'm not sure if there are any, but if somebody else can figure out how this material is made, you know, Olight came up with it themselves, but that's a big company, and they have tons of research and development going on, and they're always doing really cool things. They just came out with a pocket knife line called the O knife, which is made from this same material. Looks like a really awesome pocket knife, so maybe I'll try to get my hands on one of those at some point. But yeah, this is the OAL version, and I got to test its durability early on when my daughter picked it up and dropped it when she was playing with it. And you can see this little scuff right here. It's not a dent or anything. It appears to just be maybe like a little mark from hitting the ground from about 5 feet up. But whatever, it's all good. You know, it's a flashlight. It's going to get beaten up. This is a really awesome company. They're really innovative. They're probably the most innovative company on the planet right now when it comes to making torches. There's not a whole lot of American-made flashlights anymore. You know, you got your Surefire, Streamlights, a number of other ones, Malkoffs, HDS systems, but they're all, you know, HDS especially are very expensive. And none of them are doing anything innovative like you see from this company. So this thing has a number of features. You know, it's a flashlight, so it's gonna shine light, but you can see on the left side here, that is the floodlight, and it's got 4 modes: low, medium, high, and then turbo. On the far right side here is the spotlight, which is the same. And you know what, I actually forgot it's got 5 modes, because it's got a moonlight mode as well, which is super low. And I think the moonlight mode on super low in this flashlight lasts for like 15 days or something. So incredible runtime. Peak lumens from this LED and this LED is 1700 lumens. And if you know anything about flashlight output, you'll know that that's pretty intense. So the floodlight can easily light up the entire downstairs of my house, and the spotlight shines about 300 meters, which is really good for such a tiny little flashlight. You also have a UV light hiding in the center here, which has 2 modes, low and high, which works really well, and it can see things you can't see with the naked eye. So you know, don't take it in your bathroom. If you really think you did a good job cleaning, you're going to be disappointed because it will show what you can't see with the naked eye. And then the last thing it has is a high and low laser right here, which is green. You can tap once, it'll stay on, or you can hold it down and it'll turn off when you let go. So that's really cool. You can see the battery mode indicator on the right here. It's 4. When it's on high, you know, 100% down to 75 is 1 bar, 75 to 50 is another, 50 to 25, 25 to 0. Once it gets down to 0, I believe it maybe turns red at the bottom. It's also got this mode indicator over here. So if I turn it on, if I hold it down from the start, it's going to be on moonlight mode. And then holding it down jumps it up, jumps up again, and then up to high, and then a double tap is going to be turbo mode. And turbo mode is insane. Turn it off with 1 click. This little bezel looking thing over here changes your modes. So this is going to be your UV mode, and it's pretty cool. If you turn it on, you can literally just turn it and it will jump from one mode to another on the same level. So then you turn it off clicking it once. If you double tap, whatever mode you're on, jump straight to turbo. So double tap, straight to turbo. That's the peak lumen output there. So yeah, made from OAL, really interesting material. I'd love to know more about it. The knurling, the fit and finish is on par with watch companies, I would say. This is like 20,000 tiny little pyramids engraved into the side of this thing. And they're so grippy. You wouldn't know it by looking at it. You would think they're just, you know, decorative or whatever. But no, it's like sandpaper grippy. It's really good. There is, you know, these are machine made, but I would imagine there's actually quite a bit of hand finishing that goes into a torch like this just to get it exactly how it should be. But I mean, look at the panel gaps everywhere. Everything is very tight. It's got a nice recessed pocket clip here, which opens this way and this way for deep pocket carry, and this way for attaching it to like a bill of your hat. If you need a, you know, a headlamp, you can do it that way. And then it is also IPX7 rated, so I believe that's 1 meter underwater for up to 30 minutes, and you shouldn't have any issues. But, you know, I'd probably take that with a grain of salt. Maybe, you know, don't worry about it getting wet. Even dropping in the water for a second shouldn't be an issue. Probably wouldn't leave it underwater for a long time. It's got a nice little aluminum charging port on the side. If all you have is a USB-C, you can plug it in there, which is really nice. Kind of funny though, sorry, I keep bumping the camera. There's no rubber gaskets or anything in here, and I'm not sure how they make, you know, a USB-C port waterproof, but apparently they were able to. It's even got a little bump it kind of reflex here. If you were to bang it into something, it won't snap off. It's got a little play. Close it. It's nice and perfectly flush with the body. Little finger indentation here to get it open, which is cool. But the proprietary charging system for most Olights is going to be this back magnetic kind of waterproof charging port here, which essentially you just slap the magnet on the back and it charges it. That also doubles up the ability for this light to be stuck to anything made out of metal that is not, you know, aluminum or stainless or copper. But any kind of steel typically it's going to be able to stick to it. So if you need to use it for like an overhead work light or something, you can do that. And it's got one kind of really unique feature here, which is they call it the arc beat, which is supposedly supposed to be the heartbeat of the flashlight. So when it's in on mode, you can see it's got this little sort of slowly dissipating LED right here. When you first get the light, it's a white color, and as you use the light, depending on how many hours you've used it, it will change color. So I think it's like 30 hours of use, it'll jump to like red, and then it'll jump to pink, and then blue, and then green. And as you go, it continues changing colors for I think up to the first 250 hours or so. And then once you surpass that amount of time, you are able to choose what color you want it to be. So I think it's kind of just a way for people to connect with the light, which sounds ridiculous because it's a flashlight. But, you know, there's things about watches that we like that, you know, we kind of connect with. So yeah, it's a unique feature. They call it the heartbeat of the flashlight. You know, it's a little silly. I think they're very proud of this one because of how much tech they were able to cram into it. how nicely made it is, how well it works, and just the insane amount of light that comes out the end of it. I mean, look how small that LED is compared to my thumbnail. Olight actually developed their own LEDs for this flashlight, possibly others, but definitely for this one, which is really cool to have an in-house manufacturer of your own LEDs. I'm not sure anybody does that in the industry. Most people just get them from, you know, Cree or other South Korean companies and other companies around the world, but not Olight. They manufacture their own. So talk about vertically integrated. This is a vertically integrated flashlight. The only, I think there was maybe one thing in this light that was not made by them. I can't even remember what it was. It's negligible. But so yeah, it's about a little under 5 inches long, a little under an inch wide, and I think less than half an inch thick top to bottom. So yeah, a very, very interesting flashlight, guys. I'll go ahead and shine this in your face real quick. And I know that's not going to do much for you because it's completely washed out. But it also, I think it's either sapphire or like a hardened mineral glass on the front here. This is also made out of that same OAL material. It's, you know, a black bezel. And this also is, and then the button is made out of probably the same material as well, although I'm not 100% sure. So the tactile feedback of turning this little thing is real nice. It's akin to, you know, a premium quality bezel on a watch. Just a really nice feel to it. It's got a little resistance, and then it just pops right into a little detent on the inside somewhere. So what I'll probably do next is try to get you guys some, and actually before I go ahead, I think you can probably remove these screws to access the battery inside, but I'm not 100% sure, and I'm not going to try because I want to maintain the waterproofness of the flashlight. But anyways, what I was going to say is I want to try to get you guys some beam shots. So I'll probably shut this off and jump back on in just a minute. But in case you want to just kind of get a little close-up, you can see there is a grain to it. And I'm not sure if you can see the grain, but it's a vertical grain running all the way down on the side as well. And then this appears to be maybe lightly vertical grain, but almost like a media blasted finish over here. So for 130 bucks, I'm just blown away by everything that is in this light and how well it's put together. Just the premium materials, quality surpasses really any other torch that I've seen. And you know, I've kind of collected torches for a long time. So yeah, good job, Olight. You guys are incredible and one of the pioneers in your industry. And I wouldn't be surprised if Olight branches out into other industries as well. I mean, they're dabbling in pocket knives a little bit now. Wouldn't mind seeing an O watch one day. That would be kind of cool. Maybe slap like a nice Miyota movement in it, or if you want to, just slap a Solita like everybody else does. That'd be cool. But you know, eventually they'd probably manufacture their own movement, I would imagine. So all right, well, let me get you guys some beam shots, and yeah, interesting stuff, huh? Cool. Okay, so real quick, before I do the beam shots, just wanted to show you a couple size comparisons here. Here it is next to a Labubu. As you can see, well, you know, that'll maybe tell you something, I don't know. But here it is next to the Baton Turbo that I just got a little while ago. This is a beast of a light, and you'll see it in the beam shots, but it's about 3 inches long, I would say. But just look at the difference in the size of the reflectors there. I mean, you know, there's no comparison, obviously, but you'll see in the beam shots just how bright this thing is, all things considered. So, yeah, there's a size comparison there. Yeah, about the same width, probably. But otherwise, this is kind of hard to pocket, to be honest, just because it's kind of thick. But this thing disappears in the pocket. Here it is next to the Olight Warrior, Warrior X3, which is the undisputed king of throw, and at least in my flashlight collection. Look at the difference in reflector size. It's like Jupiter and Earth. Lengthwise, yeah, not a whole lot to show you there. I'm not going to include this in the beam shots just because it's it's kind of its own thing. Maybe I could do a review on this flashlight later, but this thing's really awesome. I've had this for a few years, but it's an absolute beast. So yeah, length comparison, there you go. And last but not least, we'll do the Surefire GP, another very awesome flashlight. You know, if you don't include the little clicky switch, pretty close in length. And once again, reflector size, not even comparable. This thing's modded with a Malkoff drop-in pod, fully potted, and a clicky switch instead. It's a very warm LED, so I can do a review on this one too if you guys want. But then I might as well show you this too, because the Baton Turbo and this flashlight have pretty darn similar sized heads, I guess, even though the reflector on this is actually quite a bit wider. When all said and done, this thing just blows this thing away. I just like this because it's old school. You know, they're kind of hard to find now. And good old-fashioned American-made flashlight. So, anyways, on to the Beamshots. Okay. Well, you can't really see anything in my backyard right now, but let's do a couple Beamshots. We'll start with the floodlight on moonlight mode. You know, pretty good. I mean, for like 16 days of runtime, that would work well if you really needed it. We'll jump up to low. Not bad, not bad. There's trees back here. We can't really see those. We'll go up to medium. We are now illuminating, well, from my point of view, I can see pretty much the whole backyard now. Go up to high. Maybe we're hitting those trees a little bit now. Yeah, looks like we are. There we go, okay. And turbo. Turbo mode, we are illuminating all the trees with the floodlight. So very impressive, very, very impressive. And now I'll shut it off. We'll jump over to moonlight mode of the spotlight. Pretty good, pretty good. 16 days runtime with that, not too shabby. Jump up to low. Not really shining too much at the trees yet. We'll go to medium. All right, well now we're starting to be able to kind of see what we're working with here. Pretty good, pretty good. We'll go to high. And now we're lighting up the trees real nice. You can see that spot right there on the wall. Looking good. And turbo. Turbo mode, we're lighting up these trees, which are about 75 feet away or so, I would say. There are some trees behind these ones, which are further. That tree, let's see, yeah. There's a tree back there hidden, which is probably about 100 feet away, I would say. So yeah, fantastic hotspot on this thing. For such a tiny little reflector, I mean, it's probably 1/3 of an inch wide, that reflector. So to get that kind of throw out of it is really something. I'll just do a quick UV. You're probably not going to be able to see it very well, but you know, you can see it at least a little bit just to get an idea how it kind of lights everything up. And then last but not least, might as well turn on the laser. I got to be careful with this because it is quite bright. That's on low mode, that's on high mode, and I'll shine it at the tree real quick, but I don't want to go anywhere past that because there's airplanes and, you know, what the heck. Anyway, so real quick, this is going to be kind of hard to do, but I'll do a spotlight shot on turbo mode. Oh, hold on one sec. Let me just grab another flashlight out of my pocket. This is the Baton Turbo, and I'll fire that up on turbo mode. And this thing is an absolute throw monster. It is insanely bright, especially for like a 3-inch long tiny little flashlight. But I'll shut that off. And I'm holding the phone with one hand, so it's really difficult for me to do both at the same time. But yeah, just, you know, hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of just how bright this thing is. Not gonna shoot out anywhere near as far as the baton, probably half the range I would say, but I mean still just mind-boggling, all things considered. So anyways, that's all I got, guys. Everybody have a wonderful evening, day, morning, whatever time it is. Make it a good one. Bye now.